Hello, Balb. Chwyso nôl. Hi, and welcome back to Astrid Investigates. We are Flying Bridge Theatre, a bilingual company from Wales. I'm Tim Baker, one of the company's two artistic directors, with Daniel LLewelyn-Williams as the other. We make theatre shows that tour, but COVID-19 has stopped us from doing that. We don't know when the world of theatre, or even the world at large, will return to normal, if it ever does. In the meantime, Arts Council Wales have funded us to be innovative, to make theatre without stages, and their investment means that Welsh theatres have this material to live stream to their audiences at a time when their stages are sadly empty. In order to do this, we created Flying Bridge Online Repertory Company, and this season we're bringing you 21 episodes of a comedy audio drama about a female gumshoe detective in an alternative Wales of the near future. It's called Astrid Investigates. Each week we write, rehearse and record a new half-hour audio drama. That means each of our company record from their home studios and our technician mixes it across the internet live. We press record at the beginning and press stop at the end. So what you hear is as close to a straight-through theatre show as we can get, and that's how we like it. You've joined us for episode 2. Look out for the Welsh language episodes later in the year. Each episode stands alone, so don't worry if you're joining us for the first time. #tell your friends. Both Daniel LLewelyn-Williams and myself, Tim Baker, write the scripts inspired by the short stories of Alan Roderick. Now we're about to begin, so I'll introduce the company before we get underway. Broadcasting from Swansea is Manon Eames. Hi Manon. Shmai, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you, Tim. Diolch. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. Good point. We are at the mercy of the internet, so let's hope there aren't too many dropouts during the performance.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Manon Eames and I play Astrid Price.
Diolch Manon. And live from Newport is the other actor and my co-writer, Daniel LLewelyn-Williams.
Cheers, Tim. Hi, everyone. I'm Dan LLewelyn-Williams and I play literally every other character apart from Astrid, of course.
Shouldn't be a problem for you, Dan. We also have Wills, our technician in Mold, North Wales, and I'm broadcasting to you directly from Ruthin. Of all the places I've mentioned, the best place to broadcast from. Okay, let's begin. May I proudly introduce episode 2 of Astrid Investigates. This episode is called 'Tis Pity He's a Bore.
It had been a long night. We drank, danced and celebrated. I hadn't enjoyed a night at the theatre like it before. I woke up in a strange bed. He, or she, my companion for the night, had already slipped away, obviously not wanting to hang around for autographs. It's late afternoon. I notice a handwritten calling card has been pushed into the breast pocket of my blouse. I turn it over in my hands. Thanks for the memories, Astrid. Kiss, kiss, kiss. No name, but a peculiar sign-off, a drawing of a shepherd's crook. I catch a cab home to the bedsit I share with my mam.
Hiya, love. You were late. Or early, depends on how you look at things.
Party at the theatre, mam. Then an offer I couldn't refuse.
Ooh, what I could do with one of them. Have a cup of tea, love. I'm just reading the paper. Hey, says here you solved a mystery at the theatre last night. Prevented a murder, it says here. First you're a nation's hero as a rugby player, now you're bringing it to the baddies of Casnewydd. That's my girl. Be nice if this fame brought in a few more Glyndwers, though, eh?
International super sleuthing is not as glam as it's cracked up to be, mam.
No, they mustn't grumble. An office above the best eating establishment in Casnewydd shouldn't be sniffed at.
A bedsit above the seediest chip shop in Casnewydd, you mean? But what matters is my true calling, ma'am. Justice. And don't these mean streets need it? Talking of the chip shop, have you seen Starkis, our beloved landlord, recently?
Oh, he said he'll be up soon.
That's Starkis, ma'am. He's forever sniffing around now. Perhaps it's a pheromone thing.
He's just got in a new shipment of mock dogfish, he have. battering him up now for the supper rush. Oh, here he is.
Hey, Mrs. P! I tell you, yous are gonna get a what for when I finish with these whippets, huh? Oh, hey, Astrid, sorry, I no see you there.
All right, Starkis.
Hey, I just doing a round of chips before the supper rush. You want I put salt vinegar on them for you both?
Ta, but it's black coffee only for me right now, Starkis. It was a hard night.
Okay, Astrid, you got it. Hey, Mrs. P, you want I put some of my curry sauce on yours, eh? Spice it up a bit?
Of bloody course I want it. Do I look like Girl Friday to you?
Only on a Saturday night, innit, Mrs. P? Ha ha!
Oh, stop it, ew. Get back to that chip shop before I call the heavily.
Hey! What you talk about? I get them dogs fair and square.
Now then, Mr. Theodorakis, I'll take my truncheon to you. Do you hear me, you naughty boy?
You just try it. I cover you in flour and sugar and bake you for 40 minutes, eh? Oh, blooming hell, my special sauce is boiling over. I gotta go. Oh, woof, 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 woof. Hey, down, boy, down. Bye-bye.
And with that, he's gone. I turned to my mum. She has that wistful look in her eye that I haven't seen since before Dad ran off to Brazil. Ma'am, are you and Starkis, you know, having a thing?
Me and Starkis? No, dear. Not likely with my bunions. Anyway, tell me, how did you prevent the murder in the theatre? Hang on. Wait, let me guess. It was the gardener what did it.
The gardener? What makes you say that, ma'am?
Call it a sixth sense, a hunch. Call it women's institution.
I realise I can't expect Mum to understand all that I've been through in the last 24 hours on this complicated case. A lot has happened. I'm going to have to take her back. I take a deep breath and start at the start.
No, begin at the beginning.
Yes, Sir Burton, please, begin at the beginning.
To begin at the beginning.
It begins over a liquid lunch in the Filthy Mallard with Sir Burton Richard, the Independent Republic of Cymru's most famous thespian. He had called this meeting because he was convinced someone was trying to kill him.
Someone is trying to kill me, Miss Price, and it's playing havoc with my characterization.
To kill you?
Yes, sweet echo. Someone's trying to kill me, I tell you. I can't work under these conditions. I'm so nervous on stage, I can't even remember my own backstory.
Why would someone try to kill you, Sir Burton? Whatever for? You were loved the whole world over. I didn't know much about him these days, to be honest. I'd lost interest since he sold out, went to America and married Taylor Elizabeth.
Loved the world over, you say? Sweet child. Well, I suppose there were a few fabulous reviews. Never has a churlish actor once uttered the words of the bard with such art. West Wales Guardian, September 97. Richards is the definitive portrayal of the Gog. At Plasford upon Avon, the stage, 77. Out, brief candle, what a piece of wank is a man! Now, you'll excuse me, to pee or not to pee.
As Sir Burton sits in front of me, relieving himself on the carpet of the Filthy Mallard, I realise this boy is at least 9 sheets to the wind. He may have been drinking here all day. If he's this bad, how can he keep it together on stage? Once he finishes his business, I continue the meeting. All right, Sir Bertie, quit the jibber-jabber. What's your reasoning? What makes you think someone's trying to knock you off?
There have been incidents.
Are you sure these incidents aren't a coincidence?
Yes, and their very existence would suggest a consistence.
So there's no precedence that they're instruments of a wider mental impotence?
What insolence! Please practice due diligence in lieu of persistence when displaying your resistance to my parlous insistence.
Listen here, kid. I'm a busy woman and I don't got time for this. What sort of incidents, what sort of events are we talking about here?
All right, put me down, you ruffian. Thank you. Tonight is the last night of a 6-night run at the Heronsea Grand. On Monday, the swords had been sharpened. On Tuesday, the scenery fell and almost killed me. On Wednesday, the trapdoor pulled from under me. On Thursday, a tarantula in my pantaloons. And last night, Friday night, the roast beef in the dungeon scene was seasoned with razor blades.
have you been to the Headley with all this?
The Headley? Ha! They're too busy giving out speeding tickets and don't believe a single word I'm saying. They think I'm paranoid.
Paranoid?
Yes, paranoid. I suppose it's these damned convulsions.
Convulsions?
Yes, convulsions, tremors.
Tremors? God, I'm starting to sound like Long John Silver's parrot.
Whatever you call them, foaming at the mouth. I never know when they're coming on. I don't even realise it's happening.
When did you suffer the last episode?
Last night. This seems to occur every time I see that damned ghost.
Ghost? What ghost now?
That ghost! Ah! Begone, foul spectre!
He stares into the middle distance. His eyes show the pain of 1,000 years as he begins to shake uncontrollably, head lolling forward and back, and then with a voice like coal dust.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. I have supped full with horrors. Wherefore was that cry?
What cry? Where?
Who's there? What ho?
This boy's cheese is really sliding off his rear bit. I have to do something. Slap!
Oh, bloody hell, love, not the face. It's going to leave a mark. I'm on stage this evening.
You were having one of your convulsive episodes again.
Was it gruesome?
Believe me, you need to see a doctor about that.
I'm on tour, love, can't spare the time to be ill.
Oh, have it you away. But listen, Sir Bertie, if you have no idea who's doing these things and who might want to kill you, I don't know if I can help.
We're not called the Backstabbers Theatre Company for nothing, you know. It could be anyone.
So, what would you like me to do?
Look, Ms. Price, I'm certain that whoever it is will go for the kill, as it were, tonight, or last night. I want you to catch them in the act.
Don't worry, I'll stop it from happening.
With all this bother, I've not had adequate time to work on my motivation. I've never been this ill-prepared for a role before.
You don't need to worry. I won't let anyone harm you.
Listen, I don't mind being murdered as long as I don't get a bad review.
What? Your work is more important to you than your own life?
Ms. Price, it's quite clear to me that you know nothing about the theatre. I'm doing this for my country. The independent Republic of Cymru's most beloved theatre darling is a one-man institution. There would be outrage.
The only outrage I can see is your delusion of grandeur.
Out, dunghill! Veritably thus upon my soul, e'en wherein I beget thee the portentous prediction of my mortal demise, dost thou, villain, thou sheath of a bull's pizzle, mock my fears and assail me to a dusty death?
Am I going to have to pay a translator, Sir Bertie, or are you going to speak plain?
Astrid, if you don't help me, I'm as good as gone.
Maybe Flirty Bertie did have a point.
No! Out, thou abortive apparition!
Oh, here come the shakes again.
Hence, wilt thou lift up Olympus? Ah! Oh! Oh! Et tu, Brute?
Once again, I step in. Slap!
Oh, bloody hell, love, not the face again. All this slapping's making me thirsty.
All right. You want me there tonight, backstage?
I'll pay you handsomely, I swear.
I'm not interested in the Glyndwrs, Sir Bertie.
Really? What is your motivation, darling?
Justice. What am I talking about? I need to catch up on the rent.
Tell me of thy requisites, O sage detective. How may I sate thee?
2 conditions. 1, you quit all this old-fashioned talky talk. Speak normal.
Try I shall, and shall tryly will I, for you, good coz, and for thy kin. And your second condition?
Whatever happens, I am not getting on that stage.
Granted. There we are. So, let's get started. Right. You'll need to go undercover. I've worked out your backstory. We're going to pretend you want to join the company.
Before I could complain, he had thrust a false nose, lensless specs, and the complete works of William Wobblejavelin into my hands. I was as good as inaugurated.
Welcome to the Backstabbers Theatre Company, my dear.
Aren't you supposed to be on stage in half an hour, Sir Burton?
Christ, you're right, Astrid. Better get one for the road. 2 double whiskies and a pint of your strongest ale to go, please, barman.
The Heronsey Grand is a crumbling pile that makes the Leaning Tower of Pwllheli look stable. Sir Burton takes me backstage to introduce me to the company.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. This is Dame Clarice Lloyd. Welcome her. She wants to see us, warts and all, tonight, with a view to joining us for next season. She shall peruse the performance from backstage. Welcome her, if you please.
The thesps buzz around me like flies around the proverbial. I gather they reckon I'm famous. Perhaps it's that ridiculous title Sir Burton gave me, Dame Clarice. It sounded so old Wales. Nowadays, we use rugby language to honour the great servants of our nation.
Dame Clarice, how do you do? My name is Peep. Well, my real name is Rachel Richards, but everyone here calls me Bo Peep.
Oh, and what do you do, Peep?
I play all the ingenue roles.
Ingenue roles?
Yes, the ingenue roles. You know, the virginal maids.
Oh, that's a little sexist, isn't it?
I know, it's dreadful. As everyone knows, the theatre is the last bastion of pigeonholing and prejudice. But here at Backstabbers, we're trying to change all that.
Yes, thank you, Peep. Don't hog Dame Clarice. You must share her around. She should meet the entire company before we begin preparations for the show this evening. You run along now.
But I have a few questions for the dame.
Get thee to a nunnery, egad.
You mean my dressing room?
Precisely. Zoons.
Fine. I've had enough. See you later, Dame Clarice.
See you on stage, Peep.
Interesting girl, Sir Bertie. Is that true, what she said about stereotypes in the theatre?
She's a bloody Marxist. Only been with the company for 6 months and already trying to change the way we've been doing things for centuries. I've got a mind to recast for next season. Quentin, meet Dame Clarice.
Charmed, I'm sure. How do you do, Dame Clarice?
A tall, languid-looking man opens a cold hand in front of me in greeting. I take it and shake it boldly. Fine, thank you for asking, darling. The darlings don't come easily, but it's time to walk amongst these lovies, learn their lingo and dance their dance. I go in for the obligatory over-familiar kiss on both cheeks. Mwah, mwah. To whom do I owe the pleasure, darling?
Quentin Quinnell, not my real name. How very pleased to meet you. I am the company's bookkeeper, stage manager, and purveyor of background and smaller roles. My, what a large notepad you have, my dear.
All the better to note you a performance with, Quentin.
Dame Clarice. You see, Quentin, a fine wit. She'll be invaluable to the annual Backstabbers pantomime. What do you say?
Hilarious, Sir Burton. I haven't laughed that hard since the final act of Romeo and Juliet. Dame Clarice, will you be joining Backstabbers long term, do you think?
I suppose we shall see how it goes, darling.
We shall indeed. We shall see how it goes. À bientôt, mon amour.
Wonderful, Quentin. A true commander of the stage. See you at the 5.
What was all that about, Sir Bertie? He's a bit sinister.
Bloody hell, that was close. My dear, Quentin was the hapless victim of a terrible misdemeanour. The rules were split asunder the day his soul turned black.
Rules? What rules?
My dear, we live by one rule. An actor must never note another actor. That is sacrosanct.
I didn't realise it was so important.
Quentin was Wales's finest young actor in the early 70s. Destined for greatness, he was once termed Wales's great Bob Hope.
But he said he was a purveyor of background parts and smaller roles. What happened?
An unfortunate noting accident.
Do you mean a boating accident?
No, a noting accident. Not one of my finer moments, I must say.
Go on.
Well, at the time, we were rehearsing King Lear at Plasford, June 86. We were two of the hottest young actors on the scene. I was playing Tedgar, and he, Tedmund, my bastard brother. There we were, two stallions tearing up the rehearsal room. Sparks flew, and the very paint was peeling with the white-hot heat of our brilliance. But then, partway through a scene, just as he approached the very climax of his character arc, I halted his flow.
Actors interrupt us. How could you do such a thing?
I know. I was headstrong and foolish, and once I'd realised my folly, it was too late.
What you say to him?
I can barely bring myself to repeat it.
Please, Sir Bertie, he may be a suspect, so I need to know everything.
Very well. I suggested that his interpretation of a line was subjective when in fact it should have been parenthetical.
You mean you accused him of misreading a semicolon?
Yes, I know. The shame has weighed heavy upon me these long years.
Listen, Sir Bertie, I'm going to need more information. That doesn't sound like a motive for murder. How did he react?
Took it pretty well. He broke my arm, punched the director and burned down the theatre.
Oh, that's a bit strong. I guess he felt he got his revenge, though.
I'm not so sure. While he was in prison, his wife admitted to the affair she and I had been having for the duration of their marriage.
Now we are talking.
There's more. She also told him of our illegitimate love child, whom from him she had kept secret.
Well, that's definitely a motive.
There's still more.
Worse than that.
Far worse. The day she confessed, she stripped him of his acting powers. From that moment on, he was a husk, a shadow of his former acting self. Never again would he be turgid in passion enough to wear a character with such power as to wake the very gods.
Well, I think that's enough to be getting on with.
Damn it, woman, I'm purging my soul.
Oh, sorry. Do go on.
Thank you. Years after his release, I found him busking on the streets of Caernarfon, reciting old Pobla Cum scripts for pennies. Oh, how the mighty had fallen. He was too damaged. I felt responsible, took him in, gave him a job as the Backstabbers Company administrator, and to give him his credit, he's worked his way up to minor roles over the past 15 years.
In all my time on the rugby field and now fighting crime, I've seen a lot of things that'd make your toes curl. I had a mechanism to deal with it. I was a devotee of Tai Chi positions, a calming and ancient Welsh martial art, a few downward feral dogs and an Iron Age hill fort or two, and I was relaxed enough to deal with anything. But this, not even Tai Chi could contain the shock, revulsion and pity I felt. I didn't want Sir Burton to see my dismay, but I wore it like a carnation at a swingers' party. At least now there was a motive. Quentin Quennell may indeed be trying to bump off Sir Burton Richard.
Zones!
Uh-oh, the latest episode of the Convulsions was beginning.
Oh, for shame, for shame! Lie not to say mine eyes are murderers!
In I come on cue. Slap!
Oh, not the bloody face again! Good evening to all the members of the Backstabbers Theatre Company. Tonight's performance of 'Tis Pity He's a Bore is about to commence. This is your Act 1 beginner's call. Stand by, please, Sir Burton Richard, Lady Tamara Jones, Admiral Frank, High Priestess Margarita, Mr. Thomas Esquire, Madame de Beauchamp, Mr. Quennell, the Horse, Mr. and Mrs. Chicken, the Executioner, and Bo Peep. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Act 1 beginner's call.
I had been so engrossed in the case, I had no idea even what the play was. 'Tis Pity He's a Bore is a favourite of mine. I look forward to watching from the wings. While the company prepare in their dressing rooms, I take a walk around the old theatre and wander into the foyer. While there, I bump into an old friend.
Astrid, how the devil are you?
Peter Jennings was my dear friend and unrequited lover. We went back a few years to the case of the mystery of King Arthur's crown. I hadn't seen so much of him recently due to him being busy in his new job as head of MI6, but we had serious chemistry and it was certainly handy to have friends in high places.
Nice to see you in the theatre, Astrid. Didn't take you for a culture vulture. Your charms are limitless. I say, would you do me the honour of sitting with me? I have a private box. Plenty of privacy. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Jenny, listen, keep your voice down. I'm undercover, running a case. Matter of fact, you might be able to help me. I lean in and whisper in his ear. I tell him the whole story. He hears every instruction, nodding obediently. I can smell his musky scent and I have a mind to take him here and now in the corridor. But duty calls. I pull away. Right, Jenny boy, do you understand? I need eyes and ears in the balcony.
Yes, Astrid, I'm your man. I shall get a message to you if I spot anything fishy. Where will you be?
Waiting in the wings.
You'll always be centre stage in my book, Astrid.
Ah, thank you, Jenny. It feels good to know I have you.
But sadly, my dear, you never have.
Never have what?
Had me.
Oh, well, Jenny, play your cards right. Help me solve this case. and you could be the star of my next matinee.
Right-ho, Astrid. If we need to abort, the usual signal?
Yes, mating call in the Manx Shearwater.
Got it.
Oh, the show's beginning. Jenny, stand by. He bounds up the steps to the royal box like a schoolboy. I know one day I'm going to be true to my word and make his evening, but I hate the thought of breaking his poor little heart. Enough of this whimsy. I have to prevent a murder. Standing in the wings, I can see the company in their positions, in character, muttering to themselves in final preparation. Sir Burton, in his pomp, as the tyrannical cuckold, Lady Tamara Jones playing the love-drunk fornicator, Admiral Flank, the maid, the High Priestess Margarita doing press-ups, bulking up for her entrance as the topless mechanic, Mr. Thomas Esquire and Madame de Beauchamp struggling to get into their pantomime horse. Quentin Quinnell is, as expected, leguminous in preparation for his entrance as the gardener, and Bo Peep... Where's Bo Peep? Too late. The curtain slowly rises as Sir Burton enters stage left.
Argue not, fair coz. There is naught but a rascal shall school thee and thy fledglings.
Sir Burton's droning voice seems to have a soporific effect on me. Staying focused is more difficult than normal. Oh, God, I suddenly remember how boring theatre is. Bloody hell, I can't take another 2.5 hours of this. No, come on, Astrid. Pull yourself together, woman. An innocent man's life rests in your hands. Can't keep my eyes open. Going. Gone. Suddenly, I'm surrounded by the sound of the Shirley Bassey Stadium in full chorus. The New Zealand Maori hordes, linking arms, are staring me down, their gum shields popping out between their grinding teeth. This feels familiar and yet very different. I line up my penalty kick to win the match and bring home the World Cup to Wales for the first time. As I go through my pre-kick ritual, stroke the air, wiggle the hips, do-si-do, stroke the air, wiggle the hips, do-si-do, I realise that I'm naked. I look back at the wall of all black forwards, willing me to miss, snarling, flexing, blood dripping from their jaws. I begin my run-up to the fateful kick. My leaden foot reaches the ball. Just as they descend on me in a crumpled heap, I peer through the bodies to catch sight of the ball, sailing wide, missing the posts. My mobile phone wakes me from my daydream. Hello, Peter.
Astrid, quick! Something's happening on stage! The gardener is up to something!
Aha, my prime suspect, Quentin.
I thought he was acting suspiciously in the last scene. Upstaging Sir Burton Richard and watering the set with a watering can. Now he's coming up behind him. There's malice in his eyes. I think there's something sinister in that watering can. Yes, I'm right. Now he's watering Burton's head.
He's pouring poison on Sir Burton's head. Quick as a flash, I dive across the stage as poor Burton collapses in an unconscious heap. My rugby powers never far away. I dump tackle Quinnell, upending him into the plywood pansies. I flip to my feet like an open side and ruck over in classic jackal position. I wrestle the watering can from his grasp and win the turnover. As I stand, waving the watering can in triumph, I await the cursory pats on the bum from my teammates. Always my favourite part of rugby. In no other sport can you be beaten to a pulp and touched up at the same time. But instead of cheers, all I hear is silence. The packed audience is dumbfounded. The old theatre is in shock, frozen, watching me, mouths agog. I look down. I'm not naked. What's the problem? I've just saved a man's life, for goodness sake. But for some reason, it feels like I've done something very ill-advised. Then, from the balsa wood bushes...
Dame Clarice, Dame Clarice, what the bloody hell are you doing? We were in the middle of a scene. Oh Lord, I think you've broken my back.
The curtain flies in as the stage management announce a 50-minute interval. Quinnell, now stood, bent like a question mark, turns to me in fury.
You've ruined everything. This was my ticket back to the big leagues. Watering the cuckold's head was my Oscar moment.
Not so fast, Quinnell. I worked it out. I know you've been trying to murder Burton throughout this tour.
Murder? Burton? Me?
Oh, don't come all Snow White with me. The sharpened swords, the trapdoor, the tarantula in the pantaloons. This is curtains for you, Quenty.
You're not Dame Clarice?
No, I'm not.
Then who the hell are you?
My name is Price. Ms. Astrid Price.
I knew I recognised you. You're the rugby player.
Was the rugby player. Now I'm an agent of justice.
This was part of the show, my dear. The watering can moment was to be my redemption, a victory amongst a sea of failures. This was to be the event that silenced the screaming of those cursed lambs. Hence I shall away.
Quinnell scurries off stage. I'm about to take chase when Bo Peep pulls me back. She grabs my arm roughly and pulls me into her. The feel of her strong fingers on my arm, the warmth of her palms, the smoothness of her cheek. I'm falling, and in a microsecond I am transported, swimming in her big, beautiful eyes. And then...
Astrid, no! Leave Quentin alone! He doesn't deserve this! He's suffered enough, poor man! He's innocent!
Innocent?
Yes, innocent!
My mind suddenly springs into super-deduct. Peep, let me take a look at that watering can. I grab the can, and taking a deep nostril full of its contents, I turn to Bo Peep. Where were you before curtain up?
I was filling the watering can, Astrid, as I always do. Why?
Suddenly, Sir Burton stirs from his unconscious state. He rises to his knees, and then the familiar convulsions take over.
Oh, foul spectre! I see thee once more!
Father!
Oh, answer me!
Oh, Father! Let me help you. Come now. Lean on me. That's it. Hush now, hush. We'll get you to your dressing room. I'll look after you. Come on.
Cordelia, is that you?
No, Father. It is I, Rachel.
Ah, Rachel, Bo Peep, begone from my side, devil child. Shall I ever escape thee? Hence I shall away.
Father, come back.
Rachel, Peep.
Oh, yes, Dame Clarice. Sorry, Miss Price.
Sir Burton, is you a father?
Yes.
You've been switching the water in the watering can for a truth potion, haven't you? Scopolamine druidica, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
How do you know?
Because I'm a damn good private dick, or fanny, depending on the way you look at it. And I studied interrogation chemistry at Stanford University for 5 years. You wanted Sir Burton to accept you, didn't you?
Yes.
But it backfired when all your truth serum brought him were perpetual nightmares that plagued him. It's a lesser-known side effect of prolonged use. He was racked with guilt for ruining Quentin Quinnell's life, for having an affair with his wife, with you, her mother. That's right, innit?
Yes.
The sharpened swords, the falling scenery, the tarantula in the pantaloons, they were all hallucinations brought on by the scopolamine druidica.
I wanted him to admit he loved me. I tried everything to get closer to him. I took up acting and pretended to like the theatre just so I could be with him. But he was so stubborn and old-fashioned, and we disagreed on everything. He pushed me away when I told him who I was. He never admitted to anyone I was his daughter. He even insisted on calling me Bo Peep, just like he did when I was a baby. He was ashamed of me because of his own guilt.
Ah, that must have been painful.
You can't imagine.
Yes, I can, my dear.
But you saw how he was with me, with women. He was
A dinosaur.
Yes, that's right. A dinosaur.
Well, Rachel, I know from my intense studies of the drug that the person whom the subject detests most in their hallucinations is, in fact, the person they love most in the world. I can tell you that the guilt and his rejecting you is a result of the overdose. Good news is he will recover fully and he must love you very much.
Oh, Astrid, thank you.
She throws her arms around me and my heart skips a flutter.
Coming to our last night party?
Am I invited?
Now you are.
As Rachel looks deep into my eyes, my world melts back to my bedsit above the lying card chip shop. My mam plonks a cup of steaming black coffee in front of me and I peer at her through my hangover, coming back to reality.
Hey, ooh, Says here in the paper you solved a mystery at the theatre last night. Prevented a murder, says here.
No, ma'am, that's journalist for you. There was no plot to murder, just a load of lovies hamming it up. I look at my ma'am, and I think about my adventures with the Backstabbers Theatre Company. I reflect on whose bed I had shared the previous night. I feel the sharp stab of that calling card in my breast pocket. I pull it out and turn it over in my hands. Thanks for the memories, Astrid. Kiss, kiss, kiss. I trace my finger around the little cartoon shepherd's crook on my calling card, and I smile.
Diolch yn fawr, bawb. Thank you, everybody. That was Tis Pity He's a Bore, episode 2 of Astrid Investigates. Diolch, thank you both, Dan, Manon.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, everyone. And thanks, Tim. That was really good fun, that one. I think I need a lozenge after that.
I'm not sure we can stretch to that, Dan. Well done, Manon. Diane, that was fabulous. Well done.
Cheers, Tim. Yes, I think we're starting to get the hang of it now.
Absolutely. Go on, you two. Bugger off. I'm just going to let the audience know that episode 3 will be coming shortly. If you're listening to the live stream, it'll be available next Thursday. And if you've purchased this off a digital platform, then episode 2 will be available at the same place.
You mean episode 3, don't you?
I do mean episode 3. Thanks, Dan. Look out for the entire... I don't know why, because I'm reading the script here. Look out for the entire first series, which will be available to purchase for a discounted rate after October the 29th, 2020. Finally, if you're interested to see how we make this show, warts and all, there will be a film documentary available shortly that'll give you behind-the-scenes visuals. We'll also be doing a live question and answer session soon where we can invite individuals to join us on Zoom to ask us questions about the series, etc. So for info on those things and more, please go to our website www.flyingbridgetheatre.co.uk. I'll say that again, www.flyingbridgetheatre.co.uk, and like our Facebook page, Flying Bridge Theatre. So this has been a Flying Bridge Theatre production in conjunction with Theatre Jam Communications and Arts Council Wales. I have been Tim Baker, and as usual, still am. Thank you, goodbye, nos ta, diolch yn fawr iawn.